There are moments in life when you feel the ground disappear, but your body hasn't fallen yet. That was the moment I realized I didn't lose money, I lost my future. I knew what betting was. I laughed at people who did it. But the night I placed my first bet, I didn't know I was placing my last safe decision. If you've never gambled before, stay with me, because this story doesn't start with addiction, it starts with confidence. And confidence is how gambling wins. Before gambling touched my life, things were stable. Not perfect, not luxurious, but I was comfortable. I paid my rent on time, every time, electricity, water, internet, no reminders, no overdue messages. I handled all my responsibilities quietly. I sent money home when it was needed, helped with my siblings' school fees, covered hospital bills when they came up. Nothing dramatic, just consistency and living in simplicity. The kind of life where stress exists but doesn't control you. I slept knowing my bills were covered. That mattered to me. I trusted myself. That matters too. I believed discipline protected people, that planning kept you safe, that luck only punished the careless. I wasn't recklessly living. I wasn't desperate for anything. I didn't borrow money, didn't chase shortcuts. I believed in effort. And because my life was working, I believed I understood risk. I didn't know that comfort lowers your guard. I didn't know that the safest people are often the easiest to break. Gambling never asked for permission. It whispered, at work, in jokes, in casual conversations. Screenshots passed around quietly, small wins, big confidence. I noticed something strange. No one ever shared losses, only wins, only celebrations. People talked about betting like math, like patterns, like something you could learn. Slowly, without realizing, I stopped seeing gambling as danger. I started seeing it as missed opportunity. That's when the trap opened. What finally pushed me wasn't desperation. It wasn't greed. It was familiarity. I had been surrounded by betting for years. Not casinos, not flashing lights, just conversations. People I respected talked about odds calmly, confidently. They sounded informed. They said things like, "Form doesn't lie. Home teams rarely lose. Never bet emotionally." No one sounded addicted. They sounded disciplined. That night, picking up my phone didn't feel reckless. It felt like catching up. Downloading the app felt less like crossing a line and more like stepping into a room I'd already been standing outside. I didn't guess. I didn't pick random teams. I had been learning without realizing it, listening, watching, absorbing. I knew which leagues were predictable, which teams played cautiously, which matches were traps. I understood things like favorites don't always win, but they rarely lose at home. Stacking low odds feels safer than chasing miracles. Avoid derbies, avoid finals, avoid emotional games. I'd watched football for years. I knew what form, injuries, motivation for teams is. So when I arranged my first slip, it didn't feel like gambling. It felt like logic. 7 matches, all conservative, all safe. I told myself, this isn't luck, this is knowledge. And that belief made pressing place bet feel responsible. My hands didn't shake. When placing that bet, the app I downloaded appeared clean, professional, reassuring. I deposited a small amount, money I could afford to lose, money that wouldn't affect rent, wouldn't affect family, wouldn't affect tomorrow. I pressed place bet, and nothing dramatic happened. No warning, no fear, just silence. That's when gambling smiled at me. The games began. One correct prediction, then another. I felt smart, validated, like I'd cracked a code everyone else misunderstood. I wasn't excited, I was certain, and certainty is far more dangerous than excitement. 7 games, 6 wins, 1 left. My heart slowed instead of raced. I was already spending the money in my head, helping out more at home, breathing easier. Then the final whistle blew. I lost, but I didn't feel defeated. I felt robbed, and that emotion, that's where gambling tightens its grip. A thought entered my mind quietly. I wasn't wrong. I was unlucky. That sentence erased fear. I deposited again, not impulsively, confidently, because now I wasn't gambling. I was fixing a mistake. Wins came back. Losses followed. Then wins again, and loss followed again. Each loss demanded correction. Each win demanded repetition. I can still pay my bills. I can still send money home. From the outside, nothing looked wrong. But inside, everything started shrinking. Time, attention, peace. My world narrowed to odds and hope. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't need to. The lies were internal. I then avoided checking totals. I avoided calculations. As long as I didn't count it, it wasn't real, right? 2 days after trying to justify why I should bet again, I stared at my savings, money meant for emergencies, money I'd promised myself was never for risk, has almost vanished. I hesitated. Then I said the sentence that destroys people, just this once. And once is all gambling ever needs. Everything remaining went in. I took the whole night analyzing and calculating odds. 1 bet, 1 moment. I told myself, if this wins, I quit forever. That lie felt comforting. The matches played. One failed, then another, until hope itself disappeared. The money didn't vanish all at once. It drained, quietly, in small confirmations on a screen that stopped meaning anything. What followed wasn't panic. It was stillness. I went to bed, woke up, went to work. Nothing around me reacted. And that made it heavier, because when the world keeps moving, it makes you question whether what you lost was ever real. I carried it alone, not because I was strong, because I didn't have the language to explain it. To who? People think losing money is the punishment. It isn't. The punishment is what stays. Hesitations, bitterness, doubts. Small decisions took longer. I stopped trusting instincts that once felt solid. Not broken, just quieter. And once certainty leaves, it doesn't rush back. This story isn't really just about gambling. It's about the moment before, when something unfamiliar feels understandable, when taking risk feels measured, when curiosity feels harmless. That moment doesn't belong to gamblers. It belongs to people. So if you've never gambled, that doesn't place you above this story, it places you outside it. Because gambling doesn't arrive loudly. It arrives through confidence, through familiarity, through the belief that you've done your calculations. That belief isn't foolish, it's simply human. Like, share, and subscribe for more real-life gambling stories.